welcome to Ginnys Gin Livestream. I'm feeling very springy today, and normally Rob would be with us, but this entire week, he is pouring our gravel pit wines at Region in the Barlow. So he's over there, and if you live in Sonoma County or even the Napa Valley, come on over to the Barlow in Sebastopol to Region, and you can have a flight of all the gravel pit wines. So we'd love to see you if you can do that. So because, I think it was not last week, but the week before, I was by myself because Rob had a lot of house projects, and I have one friend who's very not afraid of coming forward to telling her opinion, but she thought it was really sad that after I had made my cocktail, 2 cocktails actually, that I didn't toast or cheers to the crowd. I didn't have Rob to cheers with. So I have brought her here today along with another friend who really loves making cocktails, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. But she's a real athlete, so she works hard, but she also plays hard. She likes to make cocktails for her friends and family, and so she's got a really great cocktail for us. Actually, one of the classics, one of those cocktails that you have to have in your repertoire. So she's going to show you how to make it. The cocktail that I have today is, I was going to do it for Easter, but of course we were gone for Easter and we didn't have the Wi-Fi situation, but it's very much Easter Bunny approved. And it's made by the folks at Archetype, and this is in honor actually of all the restaurants that didn't make it through the pandemic. And one of our local restaurants in the Napa Valley, we've always loved Archetype. They've been very supportive of Ginnys Gin, and they always had a cocktail on the list. And this is something they put together for us for Easter. So I'm going to make this cocktail, and just, I'm not going to dwell on it, but just say, please support all of those restaurants around you that have made it, that have jumped through all the hoops that they had to. It's been more than a year, hasn't it? And so go support them now that things are opening up and you're able to eat outside, but also partially inside as well. So go support those guys. And as I say, this cocktail is in honor of those restaurants that didn't make it, or maybe they've pivoted and done something else. So here we are, springtime. This is a very healthy cocktail. It's got all kinds of freshly pressed juices in it, and I've already pre-done the juices, but I used my juicer, this wonderful ginger juice, and I just love the aroma that comes out of the juicer when I'm making the ginger. All right, so it's a pretty simple cocktail, and I think you'll enjoy it for springtime, and it's a great color as well. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Ginnys Gin, which is where we start with all of them. 2 ounces. I could go 3, but we're just going to do 2 ounces for now. And there we go. It's nice and cold. It's been in the freezer. It's been a very busy week, and we've had a great week. A lot going on, and we have something to announce actually next Friday. So stay tuned next Friday. We have something kind of fun to let you know about. All right, so 2 ounces of Ginnys Gin, and then we're going to do 1 ounce of freshly squeezed carrot juice, which I have put in one of these. I love these things. You can just keep them in the fridge. Just use your juicer, obviously, for this. If you don't have a juicer or you don't want to bother juicing the carrots, just go ahead and buy some fresh carrot juice from one of your natural stores. They have them at, I'm sure you have a local, whether it's Whole Foods or Oliver's or somewhere like that. So carrot juice, I'm going to do 1 ounce of carrot juice so that I can see in the dark. Did your parents say that? Did your mother tell you that? Yeah? That if you drink carrot juice, it helps you see in the dark? Sure. Actually, I have a funny story. So we used to give carrot juice, or I used to give carrot juice to our young son. He was really little, but he really loved the carrot juice, and I figured that, that was healthy for him and great, until my mother-in-law said, he's actually turning yellow, Ginny. From all the carrot juice. And then he also loved, the soybeans, and so we would go into the store and put him, in the trolley thing, the push cart thing, and where you sit them there, and they're always like, they're boys, right? So to keep him quiet, the first thing I would do when I walked into the store is I would go to the edamame and I would take the edamame and I'd open it, and obviously I was going to pay for it. But so he would eat the edamame. We would call them pop beans because he would pop them out of the shell, and he would just eat these edamame. And then somebody said, well, if you eat too much edamame, then they'll grow boobs. And it was like, Jesus, they don't come with a manual. They really don't come with a manual. I'm like, I think we're pretty much launched, with one of them, and the other one, so far so good. But hey, what do they say? Small child, small problem. Yes. Big child, big problem. So I think we may have some problems coming down the road, but for now we're all good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is some freshly squeezed orange juice. And again, if you don't want to squeeze it yourself, you can buy some freshly squeezed orange juice at your local store. So an ounce of this. Such a pretty colour, isn't it? And then the ginger juice. I'm wondering how much to put in here. I think I'm going to do half, and then taste it and see what it's like. So don't be afraid to experiment with this, depending on, maybe you don't love carrot juice that much, so you put more of the orange juice and what have you. So I'm going to put half an ounce of the ginger. I like ginger, so potentially I might put some more in. I'm going to taste it and see. So this is the ginger juice. I love
How do you make ginger juice?
So basically you take the ginger, okay, so we got this great ginger from our local Thai restaurant. It was super fresh, just gorgeous. And so we have this juicer basically, and I, even the, the peel and everything, because it was clean, I washed it, but it just looked so good and it was so vibrant. And I just pushed it into the juicer, all the juice comes out, and the pulp and everything goes in the other side. So this is just really good.
Could you do a blender and then put it through like a nut bag or something?
You could, if you didn't have a juicer, you could do that. Yeah, absolutely. And there's my half ounce. Exactly. I love ginger, and it's so good for you too, right? So there's the ginger, and then I'm going to do half an ounce of lemon juice as well. Again, I'm going to taste it and see what it's like. So we have our lemon squeezer here, and we're going to cut this in half. These are lemons from the tree. And depending on how juicy your lemon is, you might be able to get half an ounce from your half lemon. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. Yep, I'm going to get it. There it is. Okay. So citrus, we're not going to get scurvy anytime soon. We're drinking our veggies today. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Agave syrup. So I made some agave syrup using agave 1-to-1 with water. I'm going to put a little in there. I'm going to do half an ounce. Hopefully it won't be too sweet. If it is, I'll just add a little lemon. So there's my agave syrup. There we go. Half an ounce. And depending on the carrot juice and your lemon and how sweet that is, will depend on how much of this you need. So, as I say, don't be afraid to experiment with that. I say that unless I've had
Nobody can.
unless I've had a couple of drinks. And she's in Petaluma and she does a great job. All fabulous stuff. Go down and see her in Petaluma if you can. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add some ice and I'm going to shake it up. And then I'm going to pour it into an ice-filled glass and then top it off with club soda and some really pretty flowers. So these they've just been doing so well in the garden, and the colours and everything, great. So, all right, I'm going to add some ice. There we go. The Easter Bunny approved cocktail. Maybe one more. Another one.
Get your veggies.
Yep. Drinking our veggies. Let's put that out of the way. Okay, give it a nice shake. I think it matches too, doesn't it? All the spring colours. Nice and cold. And I'm going to put it, am I going to put it in a mason jar? Actually, no. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to put it in, I'm going to change this out. 1 second. Here we go.
Pretty, yeah.
Well, in honour of Prince Philip, who died today, and he had a good innings, that is for sure.
Yep.
I'm going to put it in my Buckingham Palace glass.
99 years old.
I know. Yeah. I'm sure he was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be 100.
I only need to make it to June.
Okay, there we go. All right, and I'm going to strain it into there. Voila. Nice and frothy. Great color. Very nice in springtime. And then I'm just going to top off with a little bit of club soda. There we go. I already did the thing. A little club soda. And so I have these wonderful flowers, so I think I'm going to do this one. There we go. And then Rob very kindly, before he left for Region, he picked some Maya lemon blossom, which smell absolutely delicious. So I'm going to pop those in there too. Yeah, it's very floral, and good veggies. So there it is. And we're calling this the farmer's wife, and thank you to Archetype for that. And,
We love it.
good. It's pretty, isn't it? And I can't wait to taste it as well. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Birgit Sasha, and she is going to make us a phenomenal cocktail.
It's my favorite. Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay.
Well,
Awesome.
Ginny, you had this wonderful nod to Prince Philip,
Yes.
right, and the Brits, and we've had this nod to some times gone by with the people we love who have lost their restaurants to COVID. I'm going to stick with the time gone by theme, and we're going to work on the James Bond Martini. Haha. So, it's called the Vesper. If you pick up a book like this, the official cocktail book, Shaken of 007, I don't know how they came up with all of these, but the Vesper is the first cocktail that was mentioned in any of Ian Fleming's books back in, I think it was 1954. Somebody can put in the comments when he wrote Casino Royale. So we're looking at an almost 70-year-old cocktail that you must revive. You can't let it go by the wayside, right? So it's a gin cocktail with a gin martini with a little bit of a twist. People sometimes like their martinis with vodka. I think that's kind of boring. I like all the botanicals. So we're going to start with, so James Bond said, shaken, not stirred. And everybody, they love to quote a cocktail thing, shaken, not stirred. But that's actually kind of wrong for a martini. I don't know why James Bond liked it that way. Somebody maybe knows. Do you know, Ginny?
I do, and I'll
Why?
read a little bit when
She'll help me out with that part. But we're gonna stir it. So we've got this cocktail glass right here, and we always start with Ginnys Gin. So here we go. We're going to put in 3 ounces of Ginnys Gin. 3. We're making it bigger. Well, so I'm sharing this with Ginny and with Kim here, so.
Sure.
Well, maybe if they're lucky, I'll share.
That's mine.
There we go. There's our 3 ounces of Ginny's. That's a good one. That's a good one. Now, although it's not really specified, we think that the vermouth that they used in James Bond was a Lillet, but not the Lillet we know. The one they used was something that was discontinued in the 80s. So you can use Lillet. I really like Lillet. And there's also this Coche Americano. And according to Shaken, that's what you use. So for your 3 ounces of Ginnys Gin, you're going to use half an ounce here. Make sure I've got it. There we go. Of our Coche Americano. At this point, some of you might actually, although we're making the James Bond cocktail, so you're not going to leave out the vodka, but you can play around with it because some vodka was put into the Vesper, it's called, to sort of tame the botanicals of the gin. And if you're a big Ginnys Gin fan, you really might not want to do that. But I've got a nice vodka here. I just decanted it into something else, so we weren't really pushing any particular vodka today. I will tell you, through my experimentation, I found that if you want the vodka but don't quite want to tame the botanicals like some do, I love an Icelandic vodka. So find yourself one from Iceland, and you might like that too. So we're going to do 1 ounce. You'll see me doing more because I'm making 3, but you're going to do 1 ounce of vodka. Okay? So that's 3 of Ginnys Gin, 1 of vodka. I know, look at all that. That's good.
That's a party.
My girls are like, wow, we're having a party tonight. It's ambiance time in my house. And it was ½ ounce of the Lillet. Now, if we were making the Vesper, which we're actually making a little riff on the Vesper that I created with some other inspirations, you'd stop right here. We're going to add 1 more ingredient and then proceed as you would if you were just stopping here, but we're not stopping here. So I really, really like, I make simple syrups when I'm making other cocktails, but one thing I really like to experiment with are different liqueurs. And I know that at the end of March, Ginny, you made a cocktail with chartreuse, which happens to be one of my favorites, made by the monks in France. Now, as Judy mentioned a couple weeks ago, chartreuse is a bit pricey. You can find it, though this is a $7.50. You can, yeah, it's a $7.50. Yeah. You can find it in a $3.75, so it's a little less expensive. You could also go to a bartender if you're trying this out and you haven't wanted to make the investment and say, I'd like a Vesper, but I'd like you to add a little bit of chartreuse. And you could make the suggestion, throw it out there, they could add it for you, and then you get to try it. But a little bit goes a long way, and there are lots of cocktails that you can make with the chartreuse, things that Ginny has made, the Verdant Lady. There are so many nice things, and you can keep riffing on them. Take a typical sour and add a little egg white too. So I go through my chartreuse pretty well, almost as quickly. I know, I love the color. I go through it almost as quickly as Saint Germain, which is also painstakingly made with elderflower, and they're tiny little flowers, and they're all picked. And that's the beauty of a good liqueur. You're going to pay a lot of money, a little goes a long way, and you've got something really nice. So I'm a big fan of this.
I think it's the only spirit that has a color named after it too.
Yeah, I think it is. I know. There's yellow chartreuse too, which is a little confusing in trying to understand if you're going to call the color you're wearing chartreuse or not, right? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to add just a little bit less than we did for the chartreuse. So I like to go like almost to the ½ ounce mark when I'm making a single cocktail. So I'm going almost to the 1.5 since I'm tripling it here on the chartreuse. And you'll need to experiment with this. Chartreuse is pretty forward in the herbal, in its herbal nature. So you really, you just check it out and you figure out what you like. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to add the ice. We have to be careful because I put so much liquor in here. We don't want to overflow the glass. Okay, so this cocktail, now that I've added my chartreuse, I have to be very careful, I call it the Aurora. So what is Vesper? Vesper, of course, most of us who even only know a little bit of James Bond, like me, they know her as, you know, the first sort of Bond girl that Ian Fleming created, and that was in the movies. And Casino Royale is actually one of my favorite Bond movies. So there she is, but how did she get her name? We don't really know. Vesper is the evening bell call for the monks, so I thought that is really nice nod to our monk-made chartreuse. It's also the first evening star, a celestial being. So being green, wanting to keep the nod to the monks in this cocktail, and it's like lightly green. If you were right here, you could tell how very green it is. I'm going to pour it into the other glasses from my girls here.
Everything looks beautiful.
And being green, there are actually no celestial bodies like stars that are the green color. But I really wanted to sort of stick with the celestial idea on the name of this drink. So, because it's my lifelong dream to see the Aurora Borealis like in its full, like I want to go to Alaska or Iceland or whatever and see the Aurora Borealis, I named it the Aurora because that is manifest in a green color. So this is the Aurora.
Awesome.
And what we're going to do is garnish it with a little bit of, this is Winter Savory. And it looks a lot like rosemary. I brought some rosemary out to sort of compare, and you probably can't tell from here. This is woodier, and this is more subtle. A little more lemony maybe than the rosemary. If you don't have savory, you can use rosemary, but I encourage you to find the less woody rosemary, the tops of the stalks. If you have a bush, you'll be able to find them easily. So there is our Aurora.
Nice.
With
Look at that color.
dirt off that one. Yeah. And you know, putting in that garnish that suits the cocktail and the color of the cocktail brings out, you can see how it brings out the color. Hopefully you can see that of the green in the cocktail. So
Really good.
Kim wanted a cheers.
Okay, let's all come in. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll go around the other side.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. Wait. Yeah. You can
Excuse
pick
my
that one from
hands.
the middle.
Come
Okay.
on.
Come around.
Come on camera.
She's wearing the right color. This is
Thank you.
Kim.
Yes, so this is Kim. This is Kim's fault.
This is Kim's fault.
Because I didn't cheers to the camera, and I didn't have anybody here to cheers. So now I have people to cheers to.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers, ladies.
Kim, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Right on.
Okay.
My name is Kim Carpenter, and these are my girlfriends. And I'm here, and I love color because I'm a designer, so this works for me.
And you're an instigator.
And I'm an instigator.
And so are we. So we love her.
Okay,
Indeed.
so how is it?
It's really good. I love it.
This
And I
is
would
my
also
favorite.
like to go, I think, yeah, we should go to whether it's Norway or any of the Slavic countries to see the.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's
very
beautiful,
nice,
and this is my favorite
Time
gin,
to go.
and my sister-in-law's.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of
Cheers to you guys.
you. Okay.
To you guys.
Cheers. Whoops.
Yeah. There we go.
We could just stand here and drink the whole thing.
We sure could.
I know you're jealous.
Thank you for joining
A
us.
pleasure. It's been a
And-
pleasure. Thank you guys.
Awesome. And in next week, as I say, we do have some rather fun news for you. So make sure that you listen in next week as well. And happy weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, I'm going to turn it off.